Hi, Natalie.
Hi.
That's a big smile you have on your face right now.
Thank you.
Can you believe you're here doing this right now?
I can't believe it. Like, who would have thought?
Yeah,
Like,
who would have thought?
Look at us.
Yeah, just out of nowhere. It
Right.
started off from like a random family message, and then now
Right.
we're here seeing each other.
But we're two generations. I think it's time that like we
link up and
We
stuff
link
like
up and
that.
we talk. We just lay it out. Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned that because I wanted to. The reason I'm excited to do this is because obviously, like you said, the generations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Me personally, I don't have as good a relationship with some of the female side of our family, like as far as like the cousins.
No way.
Like I'm cool with Angelica. Like,
Right,
I'm cool
yeah.
With, like Erica, I've chilled with a bunch of times.
Right.
But some of the rest of you I haven't met, like actually had like proper conversations with. So that's why I'm excited about.
Yeah.
this.
No, that's interesting. Honestly, like I feel, I don't know, my age group. I think there's probably like 3 others of us, and we don't really speak like
Yeah.
that. I mean, my family in general, we don't really talk to people. We're like the outcasts, but like, no. I mean, I remember growing up and like, I used to think you guys were so cool though. Like the older ones, like you, Kevin,
Yeah.
and
I mean, we are kind of cool. I'm not.
you guys are cool. Yeah. I mean, I'm an adult now. I'm like, I'll hang out with you guys. No, but that's crazy. I'm happy to be here though.
Thank you. I
It's
appreciate
exciting.
it. And ladies and gentlemen, this is episode number 4 of My Favorite Parts podcast. I'm João de Silva. I'm here with my cousin,
Natalie Henriquez.
Ow.
Ew.
And
4 is my favorite number 2. Sorry.
really? It's a sign.
Yeah.
It's a sign that
this is a
gonna
good.
go well.
This is gonna pop off.
It will.
It's gonna go viral.
I hope so. I hope we're gonna do some good things for people.
Yes.
But before we begin to what the usual content of the podcast entails, there is a conversation that I wanted to have with you before,
Let's do it.
and it stems from a conversation we had this past week.
Okay.
For everybody that doesn't know, I'm trying to keep this professional. So I try to do a pre-production like call with everybody that's on the podcast.
Yeah.
Which I did with you this past week when I was still in Seattle. And we got onto the subject about dreams
Yes.
and nightmares.
Oh my goodness.
And in my head, I was like, after we got done with the conversation, the conversation was going so well that I completely forgot that we were supposed to be there doing something there for work.
Right.
And then like at the end, I was like, damn, I kind of want to explore this more on the podcast. So if we want to deep dive into this rabbit hole.
I would love to. One thing about dreams, like it's a conversation I could probably go on like for hours, just because I've been experiencing like really vivid dreams since a very young age. Like I remember certain dreams that I had when I was probably like 5 years old, and not to say that they were like nightmares or anything, but they just stuck with me. And it came to the point where certain dreams I couldn't defer whether they were dreams or if it really happened in real life. Like that's how crazy my dreams would get.
I haven't had too many of those, but I have had ones where I woke up and I was like, okay, now I got to do this. And I was like, oh, no.
No, like I have to go to prom. Like, no, I graduated 5 years ago. What do you mean?
The Twilight Zone.
Yeah. Yeah, no. Do you feel like you have a lot of nightmares, or like are your dreams usually positive?
Thank God, don't have too many nightmares.
Okay.
At least not that I mean, when I was younger, of course, like as a kid, you always have
Scared of
you tend to have
everything,
nightmares and stuff like that. But as an adult, I have not had many, and stuff. I just honestly think that it's so weird that, I mean, because we're awake right now, we see each other, we talk
Right.
and everything.
Are
but
we?
The fact that,
Just
right?
kidding.
We're in the Matrix. But the fact that you can literally like close your eyes and then have something that seems so real happen to you in the midst
Right.
of sleeping, I think is insane.
Or sometimes I'm like, dang, what's wrong with my brain? Like, why would I think of something so gruesome or wrong? Or like, I'm like, no. I think one of my most recent dreams was like, I want to say it was like almost like sleep paralysis. Have you ever had sleep paralysis before?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've had it, I refer to it more like night terrors. I don't know if
Yeah.
I'm referring to it in the
Okay.
same way. I haven't had one in years, but I've had one where like it, I felt like I got pushed or something and then like you just like froze.
Yeah.
And the worst one I had is when I had a dream that like, aliens were coming to abduct me, and that's when it hit. So the whole time I'm trying to wake up and I can't move. I'm like, oh my God, they're really coming.
Right.
They're really coming.
I need to get a move on.
But I take it you've had some, like, not aliens, but
Oh my
I take it you've had a
goodness.
similar situation with.
Yeah. So I used to live like in a different side of town, and there was like, it's my mom. Like she would make it like we thought the house was haunted,
Yeah.
right? Like, my mom is very, I want to say she's more spiritual than my dad. My dad was like Christian, like he don't play that, like he don't play with like ghosts and stuff like that. So my mom would scare us like a lot. She'd be like, "Do you see the lady in white?" I'm like, "What lady in white?" Anyways, I started experiencing sleep paralysis in that house, and I remember one time I fell asleep in the living room, and I just felt like stuck. And I could see everything around me, but I couldn't move. And then like that was it. And then when I woke up, I was like, that was cool. I want to experience that again.
Oh, right.
Right.
Okay.
So every night before bed, I was like, I hope I have it. I hope I have it. Like I want to like lucid dream and walk around. I definitely like manifested that because something bad happened. Like I had sleep paralysis not too shortly after that. And this time I was hallucinating. So I felt like something was on top of me and I could see it. It was like a black figure. Something was on top of me, like holding me down and like screeching in my face while there was another black figure next to me, like humming in my ear. Like think of like ancient Egyptian, like, and I was like, oh my goodness. Like, and then once I like woke up from that, I was like, I hope I never have that experience again, like ever.
I hope not too, because if that I don't think I could handle that as well as you did.
No.
Because if somebody was humming in my ear, nah, I'm not gonna hum back. I know that.
Like you're off beat, sis. Come on, like no. But I mean, ever since then, I haven't had it since. Thankfully, I mean, I have nightmares. I think a lot of it has to do with what I watch. I watch a lot of like true crime, unsolved mysteries, a lot of scary movies. Like we spoke about before. Like I watch a lot of things that someone shouldn't watch before bed. You know what I mean? Like I shouldn't do that to myself.
As soon as the lights go down, that's not what you should be.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know, because like I used to not be scared, and then now like I'll watch something and like my closet will be open. I'm like, no, like I gotta close the closet. It's like the older I get, the more scary I am, like of heights, the dark, like, and I like animals,
it
dogs.
doesn't help that the world is just as scary, but you know.
Right. No, but I don't know. There's like a saying though that like a lot of your dreams, like everyone's different. Like for my dreams, like why they're bad and why like I hallucinate could come from like, and it's just saying, I'm not like a psychologist, but like certain areas we block off in our brain that when we're sleeping we can't control it. So like kind of like unleashes into your
Like
dream.
creeps in and,
Yeah. No.
I never looked at it that way, but that actually does sound kind of killer.
Yeah.
No pun intended. But what's the and I don't mean this in like a bad way or anything like that, but what's like the weirdest experience you've had dreaming other than those, if those aren't the craziest?
Yeah, no. The weirdest experience I've had. Oh, and I think I could speak for a lot of women because like I've seen like many posts about this, and it's like as a woman, like sometimes you have dreams that you have babies or like you're pregnant.
Okay.
And like you have like a full grown baby, and like you wake up and you're like, damn, where's my baby? Like
searching.
Yeah, like those to me are always the weirdest dreams when I have like kids. I don't know, like those to me, I just, cause I don't want kids, at least not right now. But when I have dreams, I'm like, I'm pregnant. I remember one dream, like I was pregnant and like I was hiding it from my dad, which I would hide from my dad if I was pregnant.
the dream was like half right.
It was. And then like I had this baby, and then my sister had another baby too, and we were like, we have to hide it, and we hid it like under the couch, our babies, because our dad came to like visit. And then I remember woke up like so stressed, like I have to get the baby, like the baby's under the couch, and I was like, there is no baby. Like that probably was one of the weirdest dreams I've had, because you get emotionally attached to that baby.
I feel like with most of the dreams you get emotionally attached, especially like how vivid they are.
Yeah.
I feel like it's hard to let go of some of them, especially if like it's something that's like ring true in your life and stuff like that. But
yeah. Oh my goodness. I think like if I have a dream that like my parents pass away, I wake up like stressed, or like I don't know. Have you ever woke up crying? It's okay. Be real.
No, not crying.
Oh.
But I've woken up like distressed because I was like, oh my God, what was this?
Yeah, like that
or,
feeling
like,
felt
upset.
too real. Yeah.
Have you ever had like a repeat dream?
Yes.
Like where you have like the same dream over and over?
Oh, actually, I don't think I ever have. I don't know. I don't think I ever have like a repeat dream. there's times where like I have a good dream and I wake up, I'm like, no, I have to go back to it. Like I have to close my eyes. Of course. Yes, like please let me get there again.
And it's always weird because you never get those dreams back, the ones you want.
Never. I've had, I wish I could just live in them, you know, but no, never had the
only reason why I ask is because I've had like a repeat dream, like
3 times.
Yeah. And it sounds like the most crazy. When I explain it to you, you're going to think I'm like crazy. And you're gonna be like, why did I come on
I have to hear it now.
But it was in this house and I don't know what was happening, but I was chilling. It was me, Mario, and Luigi. And something was happening to the point where we would go out to the driveway outside of this house and we would and Bowser would come and kill us. And it happened once, it happened the second time, and we still died. And I guess by the third time, and to the point now where like if I'm at the point where I think I guess it's called lucid dream, where if I'm in a dream or I don't like the situation, I can like tell myself to wake up, where and stuff. So at that point, the third one came and we found a way to like whoop his ass, and I never had it like a dream like the same dream after that again.
Really?
And it was so weird.
That was like a saga, like a sequel, like the Marvel universe, like drowned into shit.
Yeah, and then I don't know if we found like the mushroom or the flower or something, but it didn't happen again after that.
Right, but safe to say you're a fan of like Super Mario Bros. Like,
not of Bowser apparently.
Right, you definitely have like some beef with him. That's unsaid beef.
I don't know if I watch the movie now if I'm gonna have like PTSD or something like that. So like, I haven't watched it yet. So
no, that's crazy.
I've also had it to the point where this is gonna sound nasty too, but I've had a dream where there was like a witch coming towards me and stuff, and it was like creeping toward me and trying to catch me. Oh. And at that point when I was having that dream, I was sick and I had like pink eye.
Oh no. So, fever dreams are the worst. Or like sick dreams. Like when your body's ill, you dream the craziest things. Yeah. And it's weird because this is the nasty part. Like my eyes had like kept closed shut because the pink eye like in the crust had things. So I kept trying to wake up and I can feel myself trying to open my eyes, but because of it wouldn't allow me, and the dream kept happening. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Right? That's crazy. There's actually like certain people believe that like your dreams are like a different world, like actual, like it's a reality in its own. Yeah. And that like if you, for example, like how you said when you're in your dream and you don't like it, you just kind of like, okay, I gotta wake up, or like I gotta change this. That like you can upset characters in your dream by doing that. Like if you're like, you're not real, I'm dreaming.
A lot of them must be tired.
I know, like they get like, and I don't know like the story, the science behind that, but I always thought that was pretty cool because I always like, oh my gosh, like what if my dream is like an alternate reality, and like their characters like trying to put on like this show for me, and they're like, damn, like just go with it, and I'm just like, I'm gonna wake up now. But no, I love dreaming though. I love daydreaming a lot. I do that a lot. I don't know if you do that a lot.
I don't. Well, define daydreaming.
Like disassociate. Like you ever like around people and you just kind of just like get into deep, or do you ever like play scenarios in your head, even if like they will never happen, and like you just kind of think about them?
And yes, I do daydream.
Yeah.
I tend to be a lot in thought.
Yes.
Even when I'm like not sleeping and stuff.
Right.
So
that's it.
I just thought I was fucking like zoning out, but apparently I'm daydreaming.
No, I find comfort in that. Like sometimes I find myself like daydreaming so deep, and then when I snap out of it, I'm like, damn, like that was a good like zone out session. But what I need to stop doing, and I don't know like if this is normal, but I think about like bad situations. I'm like, what if like this like highway just collapsed and like a bunch of zombies started crawling out, and I'm like
The Walking Dead.
Yeah, like I used to look out the window like, imagine like no, I think I've always been very just like creative in my mind. Like I never, and I don't know if that's to like escape reality because I hate real life, and not to say like I'm okay, guys.
None
but
of us do. We're all adulting in an adulting world that's difficult. So.
Right. So I think just like living in a different reality or like playing out those things, it's interesting to me.
Have you ever like explored trying to express those, not those thoughts, but like do you think it's maybe telling you that you need an outlet to release some of that stuff?
Sometimes, yeah, but like sometimes I'm like, okay, maybe I'm just like, do we cuss on this?
Yeah, you can cuss.
Okay, I was like, fuck.
Oh, holy shit.
Oh, damn, fuck. Like,
yeah.
Oh, okay, I didn't know. But like sometimes I feel like I'm batshit crazy. Yeah. Like, But then again, I'm like, okay, maybe I don't know, because I'm just so in my head a lot that like I feel like I've been hyper aware since I was like a kid. Like I've been like when I was like a kid, I was role playing a child, but I knew what a child's supposed to. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
Like, why am I stuck in this? Like,
like
why am I not 18 yet?
Yes, like, and that's like my family's like, oh, like you're grown, you think you're grown, and I thought I was like, I know what to say to sound cute, like a little like, oh, like I don't know. And then even as an adult, I'm like, I don't think that the way I think is normal. Maybe that means I need a therapist, but I'm having fun here, you know, like it's not too bad. But just between like my dreams and like how I daydream and disassociate, I'm like, wow, like I need to get out of here. Like this is crazy in here.
Well, if it makes you feel better, it's like everybody goes through crazy shit.
Oh, I know.
But damn.
Yeah.
Adulting.
I never knew it was gonna be this hard. I thought all you guys did was like go spend money, like that came from nowhere. Like drove convertibles and like right, like no one told me I had to work.
Damn you, music videos.
Right. No, that's crazy. Everyone's always like, what do you like dream like to do for work? I'm like, girl, dream about work.
Dream about living.
Right. Like I don't dream about work. But no, little by, I think I'm figuring it like out little by little. I have a good support system. Like my family, like I don't know. When I remember when I was in high school, like this one girl, she said that I was silver spoon fed.
Yeah.
Like
baby eater.
Right.
Yeah.
And you know, like I hated that because a lot of people used to like call me like spoiled or like oh like you know, and I never thought that I was spoiled. I just thought that like I had great parents, like they did what they needed to do. Like
that's the point of being a parent.
Yeah. And people used to make me feel so bad for that, like oh like you know like your parents do everything for you. I'm like, yeah, I'm 15, like what the heck. Yeah, like I can't do this on my own. But then again, I understand like everyone comes from like a different background, so for some people like that had to get it out the mud. I understand why it can be like obnoxious seeing someone that just has things like handed to them. But I just feel like if your parents could, why not, you know, like they're your parents.
Why would you want somebody to go through difficulty?
Right.
I mean, you could teach lessons to like a child without having to make them go through like hard lessons and stuff.
Yeah.
Like
no, I agree.
Is what matters, not the method.
Right. No. Speaking of like, I know our moms are really close. Like they talk a lot. Like did you grow up in a strict household?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes, my dad had a certain way about how he did things.
Yeah.
But never to the point where I felt like I couldn't do anything. And I will say it's different for me and my brother. Like it was probably different for my sister since she was the female in the household and, you know, coming from a Cape Verdean house, like, and she was the first. She's the oldest out of us.
Yes.
So I think she was the trial run, and then it got looser and looser as me and my brother came up. So that's the only reason why I don't feel that way. But same thing, I love my parents and I love the way they raised us. And I 100% agree that believe that my sister would say the same thing. But
right. No, you're right about the oldest always being the child. Because my sister could say the same thing. Like my sister's always like, I used to get hit. Like I used to get punished. I used to get stuff taken. I've never gotten hit. I've never had my phone taken from me. And like I'm all right, like you know I'm doing just fine, right? But I think that first child is kind of like like how am I right? Like, do we hit them? Like, do we like are we with that?
What we're gonna do is we're gonna do a bunch of stuff to you, and we're gonna see if it works or not. And then the next ones we'll see what we do. But like, how did like and we'll probably touch on like your family like a lot more after.
Yeah.
But do you think it was different for your brother? Like, do you think he had it the easiest out of you two because he was a third?
My goodness, like this is an anti-Brandon like hate club. Like I'm jealous.
All right.
No.
Brandon, if you're out there, we hate you.
Boo. No, it's not even that. He just had it so good. Like again, I'm the middle child at that. Are you the middle child?
No, I'm the youngest.
Oh,
Yeah.
yikes! Yeah, you can go sit with Brandon then.
I,
'Cause-
you know,
yeah, let's call him. Let's line him in. No, but like Brandon was also he was a boy.
Yeah.
So boys they're a little more like active when they're kids. So he was very active. Brandon also, and it hasn't been, I'm not gonna like diagnose him, but he's had like teachers when he was in elementary school be like, hey, like this kid probably has like ADHD because like he's great but he cannot sit down or stop talking. And so, you know, he had like a little bad behavior to him. But my brother, so my dad was a cop at the time, and he would leave to work around like 4 o'clock. My mom would come home from work around 6:30. So we had 2 hours of just us like alone. Don't call CPS. Like we were old enough. But my brother used to chase me and my sister around the house with a kitchen knife. And like we would lock in the room, call my mom from work, like he's chasing us with a knife. He's like 3, mind you. Like this is a little boy. And she's like, I'll deal with it when I get home.
It's what I'm visualizing is like Chucky running through the house during like one of those movies. And
Yeah. He had no teeth. Silver tooth kid. Literally silver teeth was all he had. And like he never got like disciplined. It wasn't until I think my high school year and he was like in middle school that I started realizing like I'm going to the wrong person. I need to go to my dad. Because like my dad was never home because he was a cop, like I said. Long hours. When he was home, he was sleeping. Like my mom was more of like the mom, you know, like it was never like dad. It was like, okay, he needs to rest. So my dad ended up like resigning and whatever as a cop. So he was home a lot more. And I remember like, this is so out of pocket. My brother, we were arguing. I don't even remember what it was, but I know it was prom week for me. And so I'm trying to like buy a prom dress. And my brother, like we got into an argument and he called me a slut.
Oh.
He was like, you're a slut. And, you know, my mom being right there is like, he doesn't mean it. I'm like, oh, I'm going to dad. Because, like, my dad don't play about me. And you just said something so out of pocket. So I go downstairs. I'm like, Dad, like, he called me the S word. I've never seen my dad so angry. And, like, the satisfaction I had watching him yell at my brother, I was like, yeah. Like, all these years, like, yeah, like, and... But the sad part is
knife all those years back.
right. Like, no, but the crazy part is my parents are softies. They'll yell, give you the silent treatment for like 45 minutes and be like, you want something from McDonald's? And I'm like, what the heck? Like, what does he learn from that? But no, he's a great man now, I will say. Like, my brother, he's like my little big brother, I will say. Like,
last time I saw him, probably last time I saw you too.
I think it was,
we had, like,
the
a
game
at my
night.
house and
That was
stuff,
fun.
It was my first time actually chilling with him, and he was super cool.
And honestly, thanks to me, because, you know, like, I molded him.
Yes.
Sometimes I'm
Made
like,
him
you
the man
act
he
just...
is.
Yes. No, I love him, though. He's great.
That's awesome to hear. And a little later in the show, we'll get a little bit more into your family, because that's one of your
that's layers.
topics that you want to go over. So with that, we'll probably start on some of your favorite parts. So I asked you for some favorite parts of stuff that you wanted to go over for the podcast. First one on the list was horror movies.
Yes. Oh, yes. Love them.
If you want to go into deep dive into that a little bit.
Yeah. So the first like horror movie I've ever watched, and you have to tell me if you've seen it. If you didn't, I'm gonna judge because everyone's seen it.
Okay, I'm ready to be judged.
Oh my goodness! Oh, are you scared of scary movies?
No,
oh.
not. I actually have a problem with being scared during them, like and watching them. But I appreciate a good horror movie, and
right?
stuff like
A
that.
good quality film. I agree. The first horror movie I ever watched was The Ring.
I have seen it. And
yes. Oh no.
No, it's a good movie. The only problem that I had is that by the time I went to watch it, everybody had already spoiled it for me.
Oh.
So like that part where.
Yeah. Yeah. I think for me it was my awakening of like, I don't know why, like it makes me feel scared, but I can't stop watching. Like the adrenaline. Yeah. I think that's what I like. 'Cause like I wouldn't say like the adrenaline from roller coasters is the same that I get from like the adrenaline of horror movies. I like being genuinely like shocked. Yeah. And you know, if I watch that movie now, I could literally just be like, okay, this is like this is nothing. Like, this isn't even scary. Like, this little girl crawling out the screen with her hair all wet. Like, have you seen Scary Movie?
Yeah.
Where she's like, Cindy, this little white girl messing up my carpet. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah, so it started off like that. And my dad was a very big movie guy. Like, we would go to Blockbuster every week. Like, he would take us.
The joy.
What?
Yeah.
I could still smell like a Blockbuster. Like, I could smell it. Like, oh, I remember. Then he would let us each pick out a movie, and then he'll pick out his movie that he'll watch with my mom. We'll pick out candy. Anyways, safe to say, like, he loved good quality movies. So he would rent scary movies, and me and my sister would like hide behind like the hallway and like watch it because they wouldn't let us. And we would watch the movies, and I think maybe that's why I started having nightmares so young. But I love them. And then recently I took a film class, and that was a really great experience because like I was able to like learn more to film, and then also like direct my attention to my favorite type of genre, which is horror. So I started getting into like horror movies that are a little more complex. Like, have you ever seen like Midsummer?
No, I've wanted to. I've heard nothing but good things about it.
Oh, maybe those are like psychological thrillers.
Which is good in a sense too. I like stuff where it keeps me like on like tense, like ready and stuff.
Yes, I like anything that has like the shots are like eerie, the soundtrack, like Hereditary. Have you seen that one?
I have.
What do you think about that one?
I have mixed feelings about it.
Why?
I guess I guess what happened to me is that I guess it got so hyped to the point where it didn't match up to the hype. Like I keep hearing people watch this. You got to watch this. You guys watch.
Oh yeah, so you're kind of like let down when you see it for yourself, and you're like,
it was good. It wasn't anything that I would have been like, yo, this is a masterpiece.
Right. I think for me, I loved it for the simple fact that like I did it first, maybe because I went to the theaters to watch it, and it was like the only movie playing that late. So it wasn't even that I seen the trailer. It was like, oh, it's a scary movie, cool. And then like the first 20 minutes when like that first like turn point, it's like it was unexpected, and it was just gruesome. Like it was like
when Homegirl's head popped off, I was like, oh, this is not what I thought this was going to be.
Oh my gosh. Like
but I liked that part and stuff like that. So
but it's crazy because I watch movies like Saw and I'm disgusted. I'm like, ew, like this is disgusting. Like why would anyone watch this? I don't know. It's weird. I'm very pick and choosy, but I like me a good scary movie. Even some that people are like, oh, that sucked. I'm like, I really enjoyed that one, but maybe I'm just like biased. But my all-time favorite, like probably number one, is Sinister. Like I love Sinister.
Really?
Have you seen that one?
No.
You have to watch it. Like I'm gonna like, you're gonna watch it and you're gonna give me your honest opinion.
What is it in particular about Sinister that?
So honestly, Sinister, the soundtrack, number one. They have the craziest soundtrack as far as like making things like eerie.
Or giving you that like ambiance and stuff.
Yes. Like whoever was on music snapped. Like they should have got paid extra because
make people pee their pants.
Like
the keyboards.
It was crazy. And then it kind of like beyond the soundtrack, like the whole storyline of it, it's like very like VHS films, and then like of course there's a great plot twist. I think currently, or last time I checked was probably like 2 months ago, it's still the like number one most scariest movie like ever.
Well, then I have to watch it because I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's like number one, and then you have like what's that one with the little girl that's like The Exorcist. Sorry, I don't know how. What a shame. But like,
people are probably yelling at you right now.
Like, how you like horror movies? No, and that's the thing. I try to get into like older scary movies. Like I've watched all of the Halloweens. I've watched all of the Scream movies. Nightmare on Elm Street, I probably seen like the second oldest one. But the old ones, they just aren't scary. I'm like, are you? Because I mean, think about it. Like editing wasn't up to date. Like obviously they were using like ketchup as blood, and so it's not scary to me. Like it's to me, I'm like, it's laughable.
Especially for like people that are used to like how the effects are now, it's probably hard to go back and watch it.
Right, but they're classics, so like
so
respect. You know, came from somewhere.
I was gonna say the exact same fucking thing.
You're right. Oh goodness.
Well then, horror movies, I can understand that. Though the second thing that you brought up is what I was really intrigued by, because I, especially not I don't want to say this in a bad way, but not knowing you too well,
Right.
I wouldn't have thought that this would have been one, and it was conspiracy theories.
Love them.
And when I saw it, I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, this is gonna be good.
Do you have a favorite one, or like one that like you just like?
I don't believe we went to the moon.
I came here and I was ready to talk about it. I was like, if you ask me like what conspiracy, I don't think we've been to the moon. No shade to NASA. Like,
yeah,
like
the guys are killing it.
Right? Like, like, I love space. No, but I don't think we've been to the moon either. And
I think it's impossible that we have went back in like this. I think it was the 50s or 60s, and we have not been back since.
Yeah.
And now you're seeing all over the news and that, you know, we're sending a rover over there so we can send more people back to the moon. I was like, for what? You should have been back 30 years ago.
Right. And then I think they were like, oh, like we sold like all like moon rights to Russia, and I'm like, why? Like, like
what did they pay you?
Right.
How come I didn't get a cut? I thought it belonged to all of America. Right?
No, I mean, I think there was, and I'm not like too sure about this, but when I would dive into like that conspiracy theory about like just space adventure, there was a car company, and I can't say which one in specific, but they did this whole like, we're gonna send like this space car into space, and it's gonna be like broadcasted, and they did it, and for a second it glitched and it showed that they were in like a green screen.
Oh.
And this was like government approved, like we're sending like this, it's like the first thing going into space, like, and it glitched, and then they cut off the program, and then it was like, we're back, and it was like, that's a studio. Like, so I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think that it really happened. I don't think it happened.
I'll go into it a little bit after you go more detail, but I actually did a speech in community college.
Nice.
I took a speech class and we did a speech, and my speech was on the fact that I don't think we went to the.
Did anyone was like, no, we did?
No, I had mad questions after, like, oh my God, this and that, and I was like, yeah, this and that, and like trying to like not educate people, but tell them why I didn't think, but because I only did my searching on the internet, but what is it particularly about like conspiracy theories that you're so fond of, other than the fact that they're like they keep you like ticking?
Right. I think what it is going against the grain, like going against what people want you to think, what people want you to believe. There's something exciting about that, you know, like I like to be able like that what if and like kind of hearing it out, because it's like, I don't know, like the whole like the government's brainwashing you, or like the government has secrets. I believe in that stuff. I do. I think there's so many things that don't make sense. There's so many things that do make sense, and I'm just like, okay, like I don't know. I think that, have you ever seen The Truman Show?
Yes, I have.
Yeah,
it's been a long time.
Yeah.
But I remember, you know, he's born and he doesn't realize.
Right. Like it's all fake. Yeah. You know what I mean? And in a sense, I do believe that, like, God, this video is going to get taken down because like, the government.
No, don't worry about the video. Worry about us.
Bro, I know nothing. I'm speaking allegedly. We have to start using that word, allegedly. But no, I think like a controlled government is like what's happening in a sense. Like, you know, they want you to think like, oh, everything's peaches and rainbows. Like, we're not selling kids. Like, what are you talking about? But then it's like Pizzagate. Like, why is Hillary Clinton asking for 50 boxes of pizza? Like, like it's just, there's just so much to it. And a lot of like unsolved mysteries that like I've gotten into and stuff like that, a lot of them tie down to the government. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like it'll be like, oh, she went missing and her father was an FBI agent. I'm like, oh, like he did something to her. Like I don't know. I definitely think that just kind of thinking about like that what ifs, it's good. It's good because you don't want to be ignorant. You know, you don't want to think, oh, they said that everything's fine. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think it's good to be like, nah.
I think I suffer from that. I usually have rose-colored glasses on all the time. I always think everything's like so like positive, so this and that, to a point where sometimes I might be naive when something really is going on and stuff. But is there a particular one other than like the moon that sticks out in your head that you like?
I like the Mandela effect. Have you heard of that one?
I am like I have heard of it, but you have to remind me of what it entails.
So the Mandela effect is basically the effect of you remembering something one way.
Oh yes, absolutely.
And then you're like, wait, it was never that.
Yeah.
And it stemmed from Nelson Mandela. People thought he was like dead, and then he came out dead for real like years later, and they were like, wait, he didn't die. I'm like what's going on? Yeah. And for me, like that one in specific has always it stuck with me because you cannot tell me that like Curious George has a tail when the whole time or he doesn't have a tail. Like there's just so much stuff.
The Berenstain Bears one.
Yes.
I'm furious.
I know
because I've read those books religiously. I remember the candy one. I remember all of them. And the fact that they said, "Oh yeah, it was spelled this way," I was like, "Fuck." Right?
That. No, there's that one. Febreze not being spelled how we think it is. I can't even tell you how it's spelled.
It's Febreez.
No, I think there's like an A in there or something.
What?
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, I think there's
like looking around the room for like a can or something, anything that can solve this mystery
please. Honestly, I can look right now, but I'm pretty sure that like we all thought Febreze was spelled one way and it's not. Let's see, Febreze. I'm going to spell it how I think it's spelled.
And the internet's going to tell you you're wrong.
Oh, no. It's spelled with ease. I remember.
There's one E.
But I remember it, spelled like completely different. And even Cheez-Its, there's no S at the end. It's Cheez-Its with like a Z. Not a Z.
Oh, it's Cheez-It?
Yeah, like it's cheese.
Why? There's more than one in it. Like you're not getting one fucking big cracker in there. And you just
it's one big cracker.
What the...
Yeah, no, there's a lot that I'm like, you're gaslighting me.
Yeah.
I'm being gaslit. They're trying to see how far they can go.
Before we just like give up.
Like, you know what?
Why not? That's how I feel right now and stuff. I feel my power like slowly draining just thinking about this.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I know. And they know like, they're like, yeah, let them just talk about it over sangrias. They're not going to actually crack the code.
Look at those. Little we know what they did to the sangria.
Oh my goodness, let's talk about it.
But no, I did the, and I'm gonna sound like a complete like douchebag saying this, but I did the speech in class, and it was around the time that I saw like a documentary that had like been on Fox and everything, and it was talking about like all these different things of why they didn't believe like they went to the moon. So I was like, oh, this is interesting, and I went and did more research on it and stuff like, and it was a whole bunch of stuff like how they think Area 51 isn't where we're hiding aliens.
Right.
They're actually hiding where they filmed the moon landing.
I've never heard that.
Yeah, so like there's no like aliens there. It's just the area that they're blocking off where they filmed it, so people can't like figure out that they filmed it there and stuff. They were talking about like how and I hope this episode doesn't blow up or anything where people are like fact checking and shit.
Listen, if we get fact checked, this is our fourth. This is his fourth time.
This is a work in progress. We're getting the kinks out.
Don't cancel us so soon.
And they were talking about like how like if how the flag, it's like it looks like a regular flag like, that they posted and it's like draping down. Where if it was actually on the moon, there wouldn't be gravity and it wouldn't be like down. It would just be like floating.
Oh, like it doesn't go with gravity laws. Yeah.
And then they were talking about that at that point in time in like science, it was impossible to make a vessel that could carry enough fuel that could take us to the moon and back and stuff. So
that makes sense. Honestly, it all makes sense.
But the one glaring thing that I don't think anybody can deny is if we went all the way back in like 19 whatever the hell we went, it's 2024. We're fucking like. We're doing a podcast. We got fucking phones that can do literally anything.
AI.
We haven't went back to the fucking moon.
Yeah. So it's giving scary.
Yeah.
It's giving like, where are you? Hey, prove it. Prove it.
And then you got all these other countries trying to go for the first time.
Right.
And what did we have that they didn't have at that point?
Exactly. No, and the same thing about space is the same way I feel about the ocean.
Yeah.
I'm like, why y'all not going deeper?
Yeah.
What's going on? Like, you're scared? But the ocean's a different story because I'm scared of the ocean. Actually, like, oh, really?
It's because I can't swim like too well. So.
Oh, I think I'm just scared of like not seeing under me. And I just feel like I have like an irrational fear of getting eaten by a shark. Like, I don't know what it is.
I mean, if you watch Jaws, who wouldn't be? You know,
the Megalodon, right? Jaws.
Oh, that was good.
Yeah.
You have to see part 2, but.
You haven't seen part 2? Yeah. You know, you're not.
As a maybe.
The first one's probably the best one.
But I'm gonna change the subject before we get added into any like wanted lists from the government.
Have I seen?
No, I'm saying we're gonna keep moving forward before we do.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna drop this. Sorry, America.
Bye.
So the next subject that you wanted to bring about, which you touched on about a little bit, was your actual family.
Yeah.
And I'm just from the conversation you were talking about earlier, I can tell you're close with your family. It's a big part of your life.
Yeah.
So if you want to dive a little further into that.
Yeah. I mean, I was born from like two amazing people, I will say. I grew up with like a really strict dad who like, I was just scared if he looked at us. Like, if you know that look, you're like, ooh, I'm going to pipe down. Yeah. My mom, I feel like, I'm an adult now, so it's safe to say, like, I was such a hard kid for her. Like, that's something, ooh.
Right.
You heard,
you heard it on the mic?
I did.
Right. Sorry, America.
No, I went somewhere too. No, but I definitely gave my mom a hard time. And I feel bad for that, like, every single day. Like, sometimes I get emotional and I'm like, oh my goodness, why was I so mean to her? Like, if I was her, I would have fought me a long time ago. And I don't know, but I think I gave my mom a hard time because I trusted her the most. So, like, I don't know. It was hard for me to, like, express my anger to anyone else but my mom, because I felt so, like, you know, like, oh.
You knew it was a safe space. Like, even though you were maybe taking things out, you maybe thought it was a safe space.
Yeah. And then now that I'm an adult, I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, if anyone were to, like, treat me like that, I'd feel so sad. Yeah. But like I said, I'm an adult now, so I'm trying to make up for, like, because I don't know what it was. I was just middle child syndrome. Yeah. Once I hit like that.
Do you think that's a real thing?
I definitely think so.
Cool.
I didn't have a baby shower. My siblings had baby showers, like, thrown for them. Yeah.
Oh shit.
I got my sister's hand-me-downs. So my brother's born July 8th and my sister's born July 9th. So, like, they're 6 years apart. But
I don't know what it is about Cape Verdeans that they are on time when it comes to babies. I don't know if you know, I'm December 21st. My brother is December 20th.
They planned. There's a meeting.
And we've been spending years trying to figure out what occasion it is.
How much you would have been
like, you know, killing it.
You know what? I think they meet up at Vovo's house, and they're like, they have this big giant calendar, and they're like,
oh, it's about time.
Right? Like, arise
to the bedroom. But regarding your mom, you mentioned like you're trying to get. I guess, are you like in the process of like giving back or anything? Or are you just doing better?
I'm trying to give back. It's just like getting to myself. Yeah. It's hard. Like adulting is hard, like we've said. But if I can give back, I will give back. And as far as like just fixing my attitude a lot, I realized like my mom isn't from this country. You know what I mean? Like, she has a completely different cultural background than like, you know, the people, my friends that are my age, and like I see their bond with their families. I'm like, wow, like I'm jealous. But then I'm like, my mom's different because her morals and her values are different than other people. And like, I don't know about you, but like growing up with my mom, like it was, if we ever go anywhere, it's like, don't talk about this, don't talk about that. Like, you know, like you gotta look your best and like show your best. Even if we were struggling, like my mom would be like, we're not gonna talk about this, like to other people, like this stays in this house. So she was very closed off, I would say.
Which I appreciate that, because in general, and like, not just our family, but like in Cape Verdean culture, everything's usually out in the open.
Yes.
Like everybody knows about everything, even though sometimes you might not want everybody to know everything. Like, I mean, we're actually going through like this kind of a situation like that currently. So I appreciate the fact that it's somebody wants to keep something in house and stuff, not for the sake of like looks and stuff, but for the sake of like, this is our business, like let's keep it in us and stuff. So I like that.
No, I love that for my mom. The only thing I will say, if it's our business, then yeah, but if it's anyone else's, oh, she's yapping. Like she's yapping. She's like, did you hear? Like,
we're all Cape Verdean. What can we help, you know?
No, yeah. And like, say, you know, my mom's not perfect, but she's a good, solid woman. Like, I love her so much. And she raised us all really well. You know, like there's certain things about her that like, I wish she would kind of like be more open about. Like, I know that a lot of the times like the family, like, and I, you know, and I get it. Like if people don't show up, you stop inviting, and I get it. But it never came from like me and my family like not showing up to major events and stuff like that. It never, especially when we were younger. Now that like I'm an adult, I can pull up if I like want to on my own. I'm not saying, oh, my mom said I can't go, but my mom, like, she dealt a lot with insecurities with her looks because my mom has lupus and she also has like a thyroid disease, and she's very unsatisfied with how she looks. Like, she like talks bad about herself all the time. She's like, you know, I feel like fat, I feel like this, and you know, I see that when and I don't know if anyone else noticed it, but whenever she does come around, like I can see her, like her anxiety. Like I can see her like kind of panicking. And I hope I don't get like that when I'm older, but it kind of pulls her away from like being around because
like out of the moment.
Yeah.
So
she doesn't want to be judged. She doesn't want to say the wrong thing. Like, I think she's very scared. And also like the way my mom was brought up, like, I'm not saying she had like a terrible life, but like she didn't have boyfriends. Like she didn't have like homegirls drinking and partying. Like, so she grew up very differently. But, you know, I just want her one day to be like, you know what? Like, I'm not dead yet. Like, I need to get up and go and do something. And I hope one day she finds that in herself. But right now it's like, you know, like she just turned 50. And, you know, like, I'm like.
And that's, I mean, 50 is a new 40, right?
Yeah. And I'm like, girl, like, you know, like you can do so much. Like, you know, like you don't have to feel like bad. But I do see where she's coming from. And I think that like it comes off the wrong way to other people. Like, oh, she doesn't want to be around. Like, oh, but reality.
You never know what other people are going through in their life that could lead to this.
Yeah, no.
It's so easy to just write it off to,
right, like, oh, yeah, like, they're too good for us. But it's like, no, like, if anything, like, she's, like, worrying what you're going to think of. No, but, yeah, my dad's different, though. He's like, I don't give a damn. Like, I'm whatever. But I wish my family was more involved. Because, like for example, like, you speak Criollo. I only speak English, hardly at that. Like,
if I would have not known that if you didn't just tell me.
No way.
Yeah, I swear I would have thought that you spoke.
No, your mom.
Like when my dad came and said, "What's up to you?" and like you guys speaking English, I'm like, why isn't he just talking in Criollo?
Yeah, he probably knows. Like, oh, that's Fatina's daughter. Yeah, she's speaking English.
But no, I wouldn't have known if you didn't tell me that. I wouldn't have thought that you.
Yeah,
didn't speak
I'm so far from like my culture, from like both of my cultural backgrounds. My dad's El Salvadorian, my mom's Cape Verdean, and I don't know. Like, I just feel so like I come around. You know, like the Cape Verde side of the family, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, I wish, like, this is so fun. Like, I wish, like, I had more of that background. Or, like, my dad doesn't really have that much family. But whenever I'm around them, I'm like, damn, like, they're all speaking Spanish and telling jokes in Spanish. And I'm just there, like, so, I don't know. I don't think that's my parents' fault because I could definitely learn now. But learning a new language later on in life is so much harder than being taught it when you're, like, a kid, you know?
I 100% agree with that because I didn't do good in Spanish class.
Me neither.
You know.
Me neither.
But is there something in particular about your family that that you want to highlight, or like a moment or anything that is like, yo, I fucks with this? Yeah,
I mean, I will say that like growing up, my family always made like family time like really significant and important. Like. My mom would like every 2 weeks we'd go on like a beach trip, and or my dad would be like, what amusement park do you guys want to go to? Like, they always, even though like they were busy people, because I could sit here and be like, listen, we were home alone all the time, but they made it up 100%. For Christmas, like holidays, like if times were rough, I don't know how my mom would like make it happen. They've always been like that. They've always made it happen. Like, there's been times where I've been like panicking, like I don't know what I'm gonna do, like, and you know, my dad's like, don't worry, like we're gonna figure this out. So I can say that like they've just always been like great people to lean on, and like they take pride of their kids.
I think that's amazing because with you talking about like, okay, sure, it's one thing to show up for like the family gatherings and stuff, but the fact that the most important thing that you need to show up to is for your family, which it seems like that's what they were doing.
Yeah, I mean,
and
love it.
I mean, there's families that don't do that even for the like inside the house. So
no, for sure,
popping.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, I can say that my sister's kind of like my mom a lot, because like she had her baby about 2 years ago.
Yeah.
She's married.
My God, it's been 2 years already.
Yes. Oh my goodness. She's married, husband. She moved out last year. And, you know, like, it's crazy because there's a saying, like, you know, like you have your siblings, and then once they have kids, like, they're no longer your family anymore. Like, once they get married and have kids, you're like, wow, you belong to yes. like
she was mine first.
Right? It's like, so it's not us no more. And I had to deal with that a lot with my sister. Like, you know, like, I'm like, you don't call me no more. You don't talk to me no more. And she's just like, girl, like, I have a toddler. I have a husband. Like, I work full time. Don't get me wrong.
Carrots thrown at me like.
Yeah. She's like, he's watching Paw Patrol on my phone. Like, I can't even call you. But no, I mean, she's a lot like my mom. Like, so much. I don't know who I'm gonna be like. I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I'm the personality of the family. Like, without me, they'd be bored. Like, they'd have nothing to talk about. But no, I love my family, and I love my extended family too. Like, I think growing up in this family, especially this side, because again, my dad's family is really small. Like, there's a few people that I can say, like, I've been around, like, my childhood and as an adult. But my mom's side, like, it builds character. Like, growing up Cape Verdean, it builds. I
wouldn't change it for the world.
No. Yeah. I wouldn't. And it's crazy because,
you know what I love about it too, and well, finish your thought first to see if it's the same thing.
Oh, I was just saying, like, we're like a culture, like, we can fight and argue bad. And like the next gathering, it's like, hey, like, cousin. Like, I know families that, like, they will cut each other off.
Oh, I've seen that, literally.
Yeah. And they're like, well, she didn't say happy birthday to me. And I'm like, that's your family. Like, and like, it's like, you can butt heads. Like, you can disagree. Like, but once it's time to gather, it's good vibes.
Yeah.
It's great
Or
vibes.
when it's time to ride, we ride.
Right, that
stuff.
part.
But what I was going to say is the one thing I do like about being Cape Verdean, and I don't know if it's just, you know, still my ignorance at this point, but I love the fact that people don't really know about us like that. Like, we're still kind of exotic.
Yeah, we're like the mystery Pokemon characters.
Like, oh,
like,
what's that?
Guess that. Cape Verdean. And we're like...
Oh, my God, what's your name? Are you Portuguese or Brazilian?
Speaking of, like, your name, yeah, you have to get Brazilian a lot, huh?
Yeah, and literally...
I'd lie. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, I do. And the worst thing about it is the disappointment in people's faces when I tell them I can't speak Portuguese and stuff, because obviously our language isn't the
way
official,
different.
like,
it's a whole
language.
different dialect. Yeah.
And so when I tell them, I'm like, oh, fala português, and I'm like,
now.
And you okay? And we are back. We had a little technical difficulty.
A little concussion.
Some of the equipment wasn't working correctly.
Right. You'll hear from my lawyers.
That's why I made you sign the release, but I'm playing.
Imagine if you fall on chairs. I was like in the fine print.
That's awesome.
Oh, I love it here.
I mean, it's not awesome, but I'm glad that, you know, nobody's hurt in the making of this podcast.
It just had to happen to me. Look at my luck. Anyways, what were we?
That's probably your mom coming back for you or something.
What? The Cape Verdean Esther's like, don't claim us. You don't speak Criollo.
But so we touched on your family.
Yes.
And now usually the next part about this is that we come up with.
I'm sorry. Okay, I got it out. I just
fine.
had to. Okay.
The next part that usually comes after this is usually my favorite part of the week, where we talk about something that's happened, like, in the world or anything like that, or any news that you have. Is there anything that's you've noticed recently that's something that's caught your interest, like any news or anything like that?
Honestly, not to get like back to dark, but all of like the crazy like kids going missing, and there was one recently, a young girl that got like, you know, when they just found out like it was her stepdad, and like,
oh wow,
yeah, Madeline Soto, and that was, I think, because it was literally like a few miles from here. Like, that one really caught, like, it felt close to home because it was happened here. And then like when you know you hear about like true crime and stuff, and you're like, damn, like, it doesn't feel real until it happens in your town. You're like, oh my gosh, like, what if I like seen that person, like drove past that person? That one, like, any of those. But anything like news wise, I don't really keep up with it.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even have social media except for Instagram.
It's weird, especially with like the conspiracy theories you were talking about earlier. And knock, I hope it doesn't happen, but I can't imagine how it would have been to live in a time where, you know, remember, like serial killers. Everybody's watching the documentaries about serial killers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I couldn't imagine what it would be like to live in a time where something like that was happening, where
what, like Jeffrey Dahmer? I'm like, like, and then like when you see them and they're like, the cops stopped them and let him go, and you're like, what the hell? Oh, yeah.
No, I couldn't picture that at all.
No, me neither.
And I'm glad. I guess that's the favorite part, is that thank God that something like that isn't happening. At least not that we know of. But
right, no, I feel like I should be more like in tune with like the news, because like I'm getting older and it does affect me. It's just hard.
No, I agree. I don't watch the news as much as I probably should.
Yeah,
and stuff. But they say no news is good news.
Ignorance is bliss. Is what I know.
Oh, and I'm living in a blissful life. Yeah,
that part.
But after that, usually we go into my favorite questions, which is like 2 questions that I ask everybody that comes on the podcast. The first question is kind of a loaded question because there's 5 answers a part of it.
Okay.
So I don't know if you put any thought into this, but we'll see.
Okay.
The first question is going to be about your 5 senses.
Okay.
And it's going to have to do with not what's your favorite out of each, but what is your favorite of each sense.
Okay.
So you got your sight, sound, taste, touch, and smell.
Mm-hmm.
And what's your favorite of each? So we'll start. I'll start off with the first one, but you can go in any order that you want.
So wait, like you mean like explain? Like give me an example. What do you mean like favorite of each?
So for me in particular, my favorite taste is watermelon.
Oh, okay. I see what you mean.
And stuff, and like kind of dive into why.
Okay.
It is. So don't pick one. You got to do them all.
Okay. Gotcha.
It's a speed round. No, I'm playing.
Oh, okay.
Take your time. I want you to be as descriptive as you want, be as detailed.
Okay.
Well, I'll give you the first one.
All
Sound.
Right. Sound. White noise, because it's just so relaxing. And like, I have like insomnia. It's the only thing that will put me to sleep. Mm-hmm. So like anything that's white noise or like soft rain. I love the rain. Like if I wake up and I work and there's rain, I'm calling out, staying in bed. Yeah.
Is there one out of those 2 that's more particular for you?
Probably rain, just because like white noise, like I have to like, it's not like natural, I guess you can say. Like I have to like YouTube it, but like rain noises, it's always like pleasant. Yeah.
And like I told you earlier, I sleep with like rain noise and stuff like that. So I can definitely get used to that or understand that. But what would be next on your list?
Probably like taste, or like for sound or.
No, for
like senses.
Yeah, unless you want to talk more about.
Oh no, that's probably it. Taste, savory. I'm not a sweet girl, so like anything that's savory or like the taste of like, ooh.
Give me something specific.
Okay, my mom makes cream of wheat, and I don't know if you guys call it papa.
Yeah,
that is something about papa. Like I can eat it. It's like the epitome. Like if someone like says savory, that's what comes to my head, because it's like mush, but it's savory mush. Yeah. Especially how she makes it, because she doesn't do it with like milk or something. Yeah. So for me, I'm like, yeah, that's the taste. If I could pick, if I could eat anything, if I was on a feeding tube, put some papa in there, like please, like I'll be fine.
Your veins would be like so clogged. Yeah. For everybody, well, I don't know if I even have to explain this, but cream of wheat, I think, is just grits. If I'm correct,
I think it's like a hot cereal, they call it. Basically like grits, and it's less grainy, but the way that like it's supposed to be made is like sweet. Yeah. But my mom puts like chicken bouillon in there, and it's good.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I would honestly, especially given what you mentioned about like not being as in touch with your Cape Verdean side as you thought. The fact you said like cream of wheat is fucking bang.
Hey,
that's not what I was gonna expect. But I understand it, because same thing. That's what I grew up on too.
Yeah.
My mom would like fucking. She would kill it with that too.
What, with some bacon?
She would make it just regular and then just put like a dollop of like butter on it.
Yes, the
or
butter.
Same thing like with milk and stuff. Like she would like clump it up and then.
So good.
But man, I haven't had that shit in forever.
What? Come to my house. My mom makes it like, because my nephew, he doesn't eat, so she'll be like, "You want papa?" He's like, "Yes, I want papa."
Yeah, and you're watching the new generation rise on that.
What?
Shit, yeah. That's awesome.
Yes.
What's next on the list?
Scent. Okay. So, something about breakfast food being cooked is my favorite smell, but I hate breakfast food. Like, I don't like bacon unless it's like a turkey bacon in my pot. But like, I can't just eat like bacon, eggs, and toast for breakfast. I'm not a breakfast person. But the smell, like in the morning, like when my dad is making like breakfast, or like he'll make like an El Salvadorian breakfast, so like refried beans and eggs and like fresh bread, all this stuff. That's like my favorite smell. Like they even sell this candle in Bath and Body Works that's like waffle scented, and it's like the best thing ever.
I go to Bath and Body Works. Well, I don't go there often, but I order some of their candles and stuff. And I can't remember seeing a waffle one.
There's like one that's called like Belgium waffle. It's the best candle you'll get from there, I promise.
But since you don't eat breakfast like that, as you mentioned, what is it? Is it like a nostalgia thing? Like, does it just give you like memories, or is it just like a comfortable feeling?
I never liked eggs. I never like, the only thing I liked about breakfast was like the sweet stuff, like pancakes and waffles I could get down with. Never liked eggs. Like me and bacon, like if it's just pure bacon, nothing like in it, like with it, I can't do it. Never liked bread by itself. Like toast, I can't eat crust. I don't know what it is. I've never liked crust. I like bagels and stuff like that. There's certain things like breakfast items that I can get down with, but I just, for the majority of it, it just doesn't do it for me. Like to me, I'm like, it doesn't, especially eggs. Everyone's like, you don't like eggs? I'm like, something is just weird about like baby chickens. Like, I don't know. I can't explain it. Just, I can't get into it.
I mean, but the fact that the smell is that prevalent for you is...
Yeah, the smell is bomb. Like, I love me the smell of
I'm not gonna eat it, but
right.
So like, I take it when like, say you're chilling with your friends, you go out, and they're like, okay, we're gonna go to Denny's now, and you're like, oh fuck.
I'm gonna get the cheeseburger, or like I'm gonna get me like a club sandwich, but like not eat the crust. But no, I've always loved dinner for breakfast. Like I could wake up and have rice, beans, and chicken.
Same.
Like,
I think that people think that's so weird, but
no,
literally you just get some rice, cut like saute some onions and stuff, put a little bit of something on there.
I like me a Dominican breakfast. Have you ever had one? Like mango, salami.
No, actually not.
You have to. Since you're here. There's like a place nearby that like they do a good like Dominican breakfast. It's life changing.
Well, I have to go now.
Yeah.
But let's see. We've covered sound, taste, and smell, and we have touch and sight.
Ooh. Maybe for sight, I like a good sky. Like my camera roll is like full of sky pictures. I love a good sky, like sunrise, sunset. I just like, even like looking at the stars where I live, like I see a lot of stars in that area. I love the sky. That's probably one of my favorite sights. Or also like the sight of seeing like a badass kid get like you ever seen like or like you've seen those videos where the kids try to like blow the candles and like they get like instant karma. Instant karma is my favorite sight, actually. I think I would say, like,
I don't know if that's more of a sight than it is a feeling. Like, like a kid that's been like badass.
Yes.
A parent.
You're like,
yeah.
That's what you get.
So,
maybe that is a feeling.
PC reasons, we're gonna say the sky, but we all know what the truth is.
I like seeing the kid get what he deserves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then touch.
Touch. What's my favorite touch? I would probably say, what is my favorite touch?
This is what we're here to find out.
Right. Because I'm like,
my sisters?
Yeah.
She said lips.
Really? Yeah. Lips. I could see that. You know what though?
I
like,
was appalled.
Really?
No, I'm not. I'm playing.
You're like, we're cutting that out. No, it's because, you know, like I've never liked physical touch. Like I don't know. I don't like to be touched by people. I've never been like a hugger.
Yeah, it's weird because my friend Ryan, who we did this with yesterday, his was like part of his was like physical touch. Really?
Yeah, I can't stand it. Like my boyfriend now, like he's very affectionate, and I'll be sitting there like no shade to him, but it's hard for me to like, I don't know. I get like really claustrophobic. But I guess if I could like explain like a touch that I like, this sounds so weird, but like my dog, like anything like animal, like that's furry. And maybe anything that's furry, because I have like this one pillow that's really, really fluffy, and I'm always like caressing it, like when I'm on my phone or like on my bed. But no, like,
Where would you say it's like texture?
yeah, it's like a texture thing, and I'm really heavy on texture. Like, even when it comes to like food, like if the texture is off, I can't do it. But like even with touch, I love something that's like smooth or soft. Ooh, like makeup brushes, I love that feeling on my face. And that's kind of similar to like that fluffy density. And like that's like my dog, like I could just like devour him. Like he's just
at this point, I'm surprised you don't just cut off some of his hair and make a brush out of that.
Listen, I need to get some new brushes, so you might have just did something.
No, that's good though. You didn't realize what your touch was at the beginning. But
it came to me.
The wheel started churning and you finally got it.
Right, because I'm thinking of like, what do I touch daily? Like, what am I? Because usually I get the ick. Like, you ever get that ick from touching like a wet rag or the shower curtain, and you're like, ugh.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of all that. I'm like, what do I enjoy? And I'm like, oh, like the first thing I'm gonna do when I get home is like grab my dog. So I'm like, that's probably my favorite touch.
So you probably walk in and he's like, oh shit, here we go.
Oh no, he loves it. He's like, mom. Hello, child.
No, those were all good. And I appreciate you sharing that with the audience.
Of course.
Yes. Diving in a little bit into yourself and, finding out some of the little things that you like. But that leads us to the last question of this. And it's, what's something that you've done recently that you're proud of? And if not recently, just maybe something in general.
Yeah, I think recently what I'm most proud of is I quit my job. And
hey, sometimes you got to take a stand.
But I mean, I have and everyone asks me like, what are you going to do? And I don't really have a plan. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm looking for a new job, yes. But I don't know, I work in the restaurant industry, and anyone that works in the restaurant industry, especially when you start at a young age, you learn that like it's so easy to get sucked up in. Because it's same day money, like it's fast paced. Like I could spend money today and be like, I'm just gonna work like the next 2 days and I'll make it back. Yeah. And I didn't want that for myself, because I'm just like, you know what, like I'm miserable. Like I deal with customers that are mad that like their medium rare steak is like too pink, and I'm like, oh my goodness, like I'm dealing with people and their emotions. And that's one thing I learned, is that like people are batshit crazy over like their food, which rightfully so, like you're paying for it. But the way they treat people in the service industry is almost like you're a dog. Yeah. And I couldn't do that no more. I was just over it. I was like, you know what? Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I love making the money. I love my coworkers. I love my management. But I feel like a piece of me is like longing to move on and figure something else out. So I was just like, you know what? Like, I'm not happy here, and this is my last month. So I think I'm really proud of myself for that, because I'm really used to being comfortable a lot. I don't like being uncomfortable. I don't like new things. Or like if you're like invite me somewhere, like let's hang out with these people, and you don't know them, I'm gonna tell you no.
There's a difference between being comfortable and being complacent.
Yes.
So you know, what you don't want is the complacency, and I understand that too, because I was in the hospitality. I was in the hotel side. Yeah. And I get that, like you got comfortable and stuff, but at some point, I understand wanting more.
You gotta want more, and then I'm like, like this job isn't gonna like. I want to travel. It's not going to do it for me. Yeah. And I feel scared. Like, don't get me wrong. Every now I'm like, why did I do that? Like, should I text him and be like, hey, it was a prank. I'm back. Yeah. But then I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to make a move unless I have to, so putting myself in that situation, it needed to be done. So like, I can only just hope for the best from here on out, and just hope that like I figure it out. Like I don't know what I want to do. I am in school, but who knows if that's what I'm going to do. But I'm just taking it little by little. But I am proud of myself for that, because I didn't think I had it in me. I thought I was going to be like 7 years from now, like celebrating like my 9th year there. But no.
Well, I'm proud of you too, because it takes a lot to do something like that. There's some people that will stick with something that they're unhappy with just like we said, complacency. So
Yeah.
I applaud you for that.
Thank
and
you.
I kind of lied. That wasn't the last question.
Oh.
This is gonna be the last question.
Okay.
This is the question I'm gonna ask everybody that comes on this show.
Yeah.
So we've ran through the whole podcast. We're at the end of the journey.
Yeah.
How do you feel?
I feel good. This was a great experience. Honestly, 10 out of 10. It was nice to talk. Nice to get to know you a little bit more. I feel like,
Same.
yeah, like it was, I'd do it again, honestly. And it's nice to talk about things that like you're also interested too. You know, like you kept, you were good. I'll give you that. I wasn't just talking to myself. Like, and yeah, no, I enjoyed the experience. And I see why people do this. It's fun. Like it is fun getting to like have good conversation that keeps going. I would love to see someone that's introverted do this.
We'll see. Hopefully I'll find somebody.
Yeah, no, that would be cool.
But no, I'm glad the goal of this is to like highlight you, and I hope everybody that sits in this chair leaves and they feel better about themselves and about everything. So,
it's like a free therapy session, you know?
I have no degrees, but
you carry the trauma.
But no, I appreciate you.
Thank you
For being here.
Of course.
I don't know if I should shake your hand because we're family and shit, but
Right.
we'll just give a dap and call it a wrap. But before we go, is there anything that you want to promote, anything you want to say, anything you want to highlight, or anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out to my family.
You guys fucking rock.
Yeah, you guys are amazing. If it wasn't for you guys, we wouldn't be here. So no, I love you guys so much. And I don't have nothing going on, honestly. Y'all should sponsor me. Zelle is no, I'm just kidding.
We're gonna start a Kickstarter for Natalie.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I hope you enjoy watching me fall off the chair.
There's a first for everything. Hopefully,
right behind the scenes. Like, why did she move? They're gonna see that cut. Like, why is her hair messed up in the back? Like,
the people listening, why did the audio just stop? Did she scream? What did you do to her?
Magic trick. No, but thank you.
Thank you for doing this with me. Thanks
me.
for being gracious throughout the whole process.
Of course.
And I appreciate you. And for everybody else, we'll catch you on the next episode.
Bye.
Peace.